is the Bolingbrook Independent Voices?
So Bolingbrook Independent Voices is a campaign committee that was formed with the idea that local government should be attentive, it should be accountable, it should be transparent to our residents. And, really with the goal of being sort of people-focused, forward-thinking leaders. And that's what we've been able to establish, not only with our candidates, but really for our entire team. And it's really been awesome growing this organization with this group here, and we look forward to continuing to do great things in the village of Bolingbrook.
What I notice about all of you is that you're very relatable and approachable. So I'm sure that helps the community in coming to you and speaking their voices and their thoughts so you can represent them. So I'm really glad that it represents exactly what the name is. Bolingbrook Independent Voices. I love that. And I'm going to go ahead and ask Alex, what are your thoughts about that?
Well, so my background, I come from the west side of Chicago, and life wasn't easy. Life wasn't easy, but I persevered, made my way through college through to Tuskegee, and when I came back, I found a need to be an activist, and so giving back, empowering our residents from the North Lawndale community, just something that was in my heart. Moving my family out here, fast forward, we've been in Bolingbrook for 22 years and just trying to figure out the landscape. And I saw BIV, I saw their cause, and I could relate and identify with it. And it felt natural and it felt good. And so here I am a year later. Thank you, trustee.
My pleasure. Thank you.
It seems like the BIV spoke to your heart and you felt empowered by them.
Yeah, it was a natural fit.
Yeah. What about you, Patty? Patty D. I'm just going to shorten the last name if that's okay.
Fine, absolutely. So I have known Sheldon for quite a few years, and him and we've done, I would say, the back and forth, if you will. I 100% am supporting Sheldon Watts as well as Dr. Matthew Glowiak, because they are ready for real structural change here in Bolingbrook. It is time for not only Dr. Matt and Sheldon to be thinking about our future for our generations of children. I'm ready for some structural change. I am a staunch advocate, and we can talk about more of that later on.
It sounds, I can hear a lot of passion in your voice. So this platform seems to be empowering for you, and it seems that the BIV has given you that voice.
Given me an opportunity to do that, whereas most places I get shut out of it. So I am thankful for the both of you as well.
Matthew, what are your thoughts?
Why BIV? I say, why not? And honestly, I echo similar sentiments to what Alex and Patty had just shared a few moments ago. Growing up, I was a kid who always dreamed big. I remember my first goal in life was to be an astronaut, but my dad quickly shot that down because I have very poor vision. Where are my contacts here? But the next one was to ultimately become president of the United States. And that followed me for a bit, yes. At Humphrey Middle School, they used to call me President Glowiak. And honestly, I thought that was going to be the route that I went. But as I started to get older, I kind of found myself disinterested in politics. I saw a lot of the nasty side of it, the power and the money, people being oppressed, marginalized. And I couldn't have anything to do with it. And being somebody who's a natural helper, I have a history of volunteer work, a history of just being that individual who friends would come to for support and so on. I decided, I should get into a helping profession. So let's fast forward many years later. I ultimately became a mental health professional and divided my work, among being a professor, counselor, advocate, author, presenter, all this good stuff. And as I was doing my work, I'm meeting with people individually as groups and really hearing to a lot of the hardship that they had and having some very difficult conversations. And especially with what started to happen in 2020, with the civil unrest, the incident with George Floyd, we had the pandemic, we also called it dueling pandemics, the one civil unrest as well as COVID-19. And there was a lot of sadness that was going on, a lot of fighting, hate crimes, so on. And I started to think to myself, you know what, Matt, you've got this talent as a mental health professional. You could speak to these difficult issues. Why don't you put your money where your mouth is and actually become involved in civil engagement?